Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Butler, and you're listening to the Mighty Mommy's Quick and Dirty Tips podcast, which will help make your life as a parent a little bit easier and a lot more fun. Welcome! Today's episode is number 485, 6 Cool Ways to Embrace Summer Vacation. Because as much as we all long for the lazy, hazy days of summer, when we have 10 weeks of unscheduled time to fill for our kids when they're home from school, it can heat up quickly. When school lets out for summer, most families breathe a huge sigh of relief and quickly go from a highly structured mode to a much more relaxed atmosphere, where schedules and commitments are pushed aside for lazier days of kicking back and just chilling out. I personally love that I get a 10-week reprieve from making school lunches, and even better, we don't have to set our alarms for most of the summer. But I cannot tell a lie. As much as I love having my kids home from school, 10 weeks is a very long time to have them underfoot. Since I do work full-time outside of the home, however, the days of being my kids' cruise director all summer are thankfully long gone. Quite frankly, I do miss the days that we used to spend summer vacation as a family, despite my having to find ways to entertain them for over 2 months straight before those school bells started to ring again. Whether you're working or hanging out with your kids for the summer break, 2+ months of having your kids home every day can, let's face it, become a bit daunting for both them and you. Great summer vacations are possible, and yes, even easy, if you can take a little bit of your time to make some plans. Mighty Mommy shares 6 cool ways that you can embrace your summer before things start to get too hot. 1. Keep a schedule and set expectations. 2. Declutter from the school year. 3. Kid swap. 4. Create a vision board. 5. Playdates after work. And 6. Encourage boredom. Here they are in more detail. Number 1, keep a schedule and set expectations. It's only natural to want to abandon the rigid structure your family has maintained throughout the school year once your kids' backpacks are tucked away for the next couple of months. But if you do so altogether, you could be asking for trouble. Kids crave structure and boundaries, even though you'll never hear that from them. So even though their stash of number 2 pencils are out of sight, it doesn't mean you still shouldn't keep their routines and schedules going strong. Every household will have to establish their own summer groove, depending on your children's ages, if they have their own summer jobs or activities to attend, and of course, what your work schedule looks like for the summer. I find that it's helpful to lay out what your expectations are for the summer. By doing so, the entire family is on the same page, and there are no surprises for kids or parents alike when everyone knows what the plan is. In my episode, How to Enjoy Summer Vacation Without Losing Your Mind, my first tried and true tip is outline your summer expectations. By setting up some straightforward guidelines for your family at the beginning of summer vacation, you can save yourself a lot of grief when things don't go your child's way. Successful summer expectations can be simple and tailored for each of your children. Emphasize in writing how your kids are expected to contribute to the household during the summer months and what the consequences will be if they don't do their part. These contributions can include household chores, summer reading, how much electronics time will be allowed, and how much money they can expect you to contribute to outings like the movies or the mall. Ask for their input so that they'll feel that they have a say in how they spend their free time. For example, if you expect your son to care of his own laundry this summer, let him decide the day and time of this chore. Print the list of expectations, have your child sign it, and keep it posted in a high-traffic area so that it's a constant reminder for the rest of the summer. Tip number 2, declutter from the school year. The end of the school year means a notable transition for the entire family. Backpacks, lunchboxes, and homework stations are probably chock full of year-end papers, projects, broken crayons and pencils, assorted school supplies strewn about your home, probably including your car, and kids' bedrooms are full of little reminders that your child has been leaving your home early in the day and going strong into school, and then rushing home from one activity to the next after school. One way to kick summer off to a positive and fresh start is to take some time immediately after school has let out and clean up and declutter all your school areas to get them ready for the more carefree days of summer. Go through backpacks and lunchboxes and rid them of the past year's claptrap that you no longer need. Have your kids help you spiff up their homework stations and chuck anything that just doesn't have a purpose any longer. Take some decent chunks of time to transition their bedrooms and the other main areas of the house, such as the entryway and family room, from school days to vacation mode, so you can relax in the weeks to come and not have constant reminders such as outgrown shoes, ill-fitting clothing, and tattered sports equipment and such cluttering up precious space around your home. Number 3, Kid Swap. When the majority of my kids were younger, my friends and I developed a summer survival system called the Kid Swap. Basically, we prearranged regular days throughout the entire summer where we swapped one another's kids. This included either hosting kids at our house for an afternoon, so one mom always got an afternoon to herself each summer, or it allowed for instant play dates once a week for families that only had 1 or 2 kids. With 8 kids, you know who got the better part of that deal. Because I had older kids, I had built-in mother's helpers. So when I had a few extra kids at my house, I had it made. When my kids went to a friend's house, my older kids would be along for the ride, so it truly was a win-win for all. Get creative and enlist aunts, uncles, grandparents, and even neighbors. If you have some respite to look forward to each week, it definitely keeps you less stressed, and your kids benefit because they get a change of scenery and other kids to hang out with on a regular basis throughout the summer. Number 4, create a vision board. Each year, shortly before school lets out for the summer, my kids and I have always created a summer to-do list. This has been a tradition of ours for over 15 years now. Each child and mom and dad pick a few fun things we'd really like to do, either on an individual basis or together as a family. I have more details of this in my episode, 6 Ideas to Help Your Child Have the Best Summer Ever. In addition to our highly anticipated summer to-do list, there's another creative project we started doing a few years ago that's equally as fun, creating a vision board. Basically, a vision board is a project that allows you to create a visual collection of things that excite you and inspire you, and that you'd like to attract into your life. These became all the rage when the law of attraction grabbed our attention after the movie The Secret was released a few years ago. Vision boards are a creative way to focus on some of your goals and dreams. There's a wonderful YouTube on how to create a vision board from one of my favorite authors, Jack Canfield. You can adapt this project to your children's ages and interests, and it's also a great outlet for yourself as well. What I found so interesting about these vision boards is that I learned a lot of things about my kids I didn't know before this because of what they placed on their boards. For instance, one of my sons put photographs of a guitar on his board. I learned that he'd wanted to learn to play the guitar for a couple of years and hadn't told us. That summer, we rented a guitar for him. He learned to play, and now he's part of a teenage band. Tip number 5, play dates after work. During the school year, we're used to scheduling homework time, appointments, deadlines for projects, and all the after-school activities and practices that are a regular part of our September to June lifestyle. With summer, most of us don't have as many rigid commitments, and we're not running around quite as much. The upside to all those scheduled times, however, is that I get to spend a lot more time with my kids because I'm shuttling them back and forth in the car. This may sound crazy, but truthfully, it's time I have with them that we each have each other's attention because we're in a small confined space for a good chunk of time several times a week, and we can chat, connect, and even problem solve. Years ago, a good friend of mine turned me on to a way to spend time with my kids during vacation periods. Scheduled play dates after work. Once a week, we put a date on the calendar so we can do something fun, like go out for ice cream, go bowling, or even just take the dog to the park for a walk. These relaxed times provide just the change of pace that your child and you need to de-stress, and it's something for both of you to look forward to. Most of my kids are in college or high school now, so we do something else instead called Takeout Thursdays during the summer, where we choose a new ethnic restaurant and order takeout, and we have dinner together, all of us, every Thursday, no matter what. And tip number 6, encourage boredom. Finally, my best tip for embracing the lazy and somewhat long days of summer are to leave days on your calendar with absolutely nothing at all planned. In a recent podcast I did, 4 Great Reasons Boredom Can Benefit Your Child, I received quite a few emails from listeners about how much they enjoyed and appreciated knowing that it's absolutely just fine to let your kids have unscheduled time where they fend for themselves. Believe me, I spent many summers where I agonized over having enough creative projects planned for my kids so that they'd be enriched with clever activities and outings to keep them happy, busy, and most of all, never bored. While that was great for them, I burned out in record time because it's just not feasible to keep that type of momentum going for the sake of trying to avoid boredom. Youth psychologist Janine Hubbard says that kids aren't getting bored as much any longer, and that's not necessarily a good thing. In the article, Embrace the Summer Vacation with these 3 planning tips for families, she says, believe it or not, letting your kids be bored for at least some of the summer is probably one of the most important life lessons that you can give them. She goes on, boredom helps encourage creativity, it helps encourage problem solving, it's how we learn to daydream, it's how we learn to navigate social situations. So this summer, be sure to keep a solid handful of free days on your calendar. You might be amazed at the variety of pretend play and other activities that your kids will come up with all on their own. How do you welcome the summer vacation months in your home? Share your thoughts in the comments section at quickanddirtytips.com/mighty-mommy. Or please post your ideas on the Mighty Mommy Facebook page where I'll interact with you about your suggestions and your comments. And you can email me at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com. If you have friends and family that would enjoy listening as well, I would so appreciate it if you'd share the link to this podcast and refer them to the website, which is www.quickanddirtytips.com/mighty-mommy. Here, you'll find hundreds of archived episodes covering a wide variety of parenting and family-related topics. Wishing you and your families the happiest summer days ever. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time, happy parenting!